Property superstition, is it a real thing? And does it make or lose money? Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good morning.
Xanthony Barala,
Mark Novak.
cool, chic, chic, Madonna of real estate.
That's only because I'm sure there aren't too many other Xanthonys out there, so rarely do I drop in my surname.
Yeah, so we start off the show and I'm like, Xanthony, you know, you don't have like your surname there. People aren't going to know who you are. And then the penny dropped. I'm like, nah, you're sort of like Madonna. Like that name, single name's a brand in itself.
I'm nowhere near as famous or as talented as Madonna, but I'll take the compliment for today.
But you got a bit of coolness. Like, you know, Madonna doesn't give a shit, but she works hard and she's awesome.
She's a hustler.
Yeah, that's what you got. You got the hustle. You got the hustle.
The hustler vibe.
Yeah. Now, this morning we are talking about an awesome topic. And for most people, they're not going to be able to relate. They're going to go, you know what, doesn't matter to me, not superstitious, who cares? But if you're selling something and people are superstitious, it's going to kick on to your sales price, like it or not, if you're superstitious or not.
Yeah. Big time. And I hadn't really ever dealt with this until recently when we had a vendor looking to sell her property, and she was very particular with the days and times that it was to go on sale for the open homes and then in turn for the auction as well. So there was a lot of back and forth because there are lucky times to buy, lucky times that people will be, days and times as well, that people will be on the market looking to buy. So it's out there, it does happen, and it's not anything that I've ever considered before previously.
And I often think like people have got too much time on their hands if they're superstitious. I'm like, really? Is that really what you're going to be worried about? But I'm even a little bit superstitious. Like I like numbers. And
You like the number 8.
It's so weird, and my mind just wanders towards them. So I know when I was buying phone numbers 20 years ago, if it was a bunch of 4s in the phone number, nobody wanted it, as in it was worth a fraction. Whereas if the number held 8s or 1s or lucky numbers, I think 5s, it was sold for a pretty good price. So this is a real thing. And so now we're going to relate it back to property, and you've got some fast facts of what people relate back to property when it comes to superstition.
Yes, so I've got a little bit of a list happening with a few different superstitions that we can quickly just fly through. Some of them might be easily apparent, so you'll know of them, and then the others might be a little bit surprising. So shall we make a start with it?
Yep, and good morning to Mr. Pierce Cody, who thought the opening was very random.
Talking about Madonna, that part.
I'm not sure. Maybe it was that. Spooky.
Maybe. So numerology. So we've just recently touched on it ever so slightly, talking about the number 8. Now, this is a very lucky number in China, and similar to Chinese lucky numbers. Also with China, the number 4 is unlucky. It sounds like the word death in Chinese languages. So Western culture, as most people know, the number 13 is considered to be unlucky. And so developers and builders will often skip the floor number 13 from their building.
Did you? And not a lot of people know that. You tell people, they go, really? And even they're starting to skip level 4.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
As in, the whole floor
just doesn't exist.
But the number doesn't exist. So they just go 1, 2, 3, 5. So the 5 is
What's it like in your apartment complex?
Yeah, deleted 5.
What about
Sorry,
13?
deleted 4, deleted 13.
Interesting. So it's out there. It happens.
It happens. It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
We're talking of unlucky numbers. The number 17 is bad luck in Italy because the number looks like death. 1 being the hanged man and 7 being the gallows. I didn't know about the number 17, but if your house is number 17, it might not be all that attractive to Italian buyers.
Yeah, right. Now, I do find in property owning, like some of these cultures go back thousands of years, like the Chinese culture, the superstition, stuff like that. But if I was to do a list, I'd probably put number 1 on that list for superstition to be the property number.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's not something that ever really phases me with regards to numerology, lucky numbers, unlucky numbers. It doesn't affect me, or it's not at the forefront of my mind.
But if it potentially chops out a party, one buyer, then it's going to sell for less. So if that's your best buyer, and they go, nah, not going to buy it because of that property number, or I am going to buy it because it's an 8 and I'm going to pay more, there you go.
Yeah. Easy. Well, you don't really have too much control of that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Give me more superstition.
Okay, let's go into a little bit of feng shui. So very heavily Chinese influence here with feng shui. So a house on a busy road or at a T intersection generally has bad feng shui as traffic disperses qi.
It's naughty.
So qi is Chinese good energy. So a house on a busy road or a T intersection. So goodbye Pittwater Road.
Yep.
The shape of a block affects feng shui of a property. So good feng shui in a property is when it's rectangular in shape and it's slightly sloping upwards. So high side of the street, rectangle in shape, so a very kind of conventional home standard layout. So the location is also important with feng shui. On the water is best, but water views and even a pool could do. So think about water, incorporating a pool into your property if you can, or get something with those views. A red front door creates good feng shui as well.
A what?
A red front door.
And what else is superstitious?
What else is superstitious? Well,
you see, I always relate superstitious to bad, but it's actually can be good. Like a red door's good.
Well, interestingly, in feng shui, a red door is a sign of good luck, but in other cultures, a blue door repels ghosts. So that's another little superstition as well. A blue door will ward off those evil spirits and repel the ghosts.
Wow. Next one.
Have half red, half blue.
Yeah, take a bet each way.
So when moving into a home, it's a good tradition to bring a carb or starch together with salt before bringing anything else in.
Say it again.
So when moving into your new home, the very first thing you should bring in, according to one superstition, is some kind of starch or a carb. So bread, rice, flour, that kind of thing. Sprinkle it on the doorway. Have it the first thing that you take in to ward off those evil spirits.
Sounds humble. Take a bit of bread.
Another one?
Yep.
Okay, so ditch that old broom. According to a popular belief, you shouldn't bring an old broom into your new home.
Really?
Yeah. So your old broom sweeps out all of the old negative energy. You don't want to be bringing that into your new house.
No way. Next
I've
one.
just recently moved as well, and I brought my old broom with me, so I'm basically up shit creek without a paddle now.
Yeah. Well, you might be redeemed. You might be able to get rid of it and just get a new one and beg for forgiveness.
Yeah. But this next one is something that I have done in previous properties, smudging or saging your property. Have you ever saged?
No.
I did. Look, I did do it for a little bit of fun, and also. No, I bought the little sage stick and I was warding off all of the evil spirits and negative energy to bring in new memories, positive memories, and start from scratch. And it really doesn't smell all that great. I'm just going to put it out there for anyone that's thinking of saging their new property. Doesn't smell all that crash hot.
As in it gets worse or just that day?
It's just for that day. And all of the little ash goes everywhere as well, so just be mindful of that. But it is meant to drive the evil spirits away, cleanse the new dwelling as well.
Next one.
Coins are considered good luck, so another property superstition is scattering coins around the living room to ensure prosperity. So whether or not this is something that you incorporate in your day-to-day life or you want to have coins hidden during open homes, that's another thing that's meant to represent good luck.
The Greeks in our office, when someone bought a new car, used to do that. They used to get out coins and throw it on the floor and say, good luck.
Really?
Yeah.
And would they still do that now or to any of the Greeks in the office, or it's kind of a dying superstition?
No, it's modern Greek, which is old Greek, which is still modern.
Still very modern. Bury a statue. So the most popular superstition held to help home sellers sell faster is burying a statue of Saint Joseph, who is the patron saint of families.
Wow. That'd be scary finding the statue.
You'd probably think that it was some kind of burial site or something. I don't know.
You'd see that and you'd be like, "Oh my God, what else am I gonna dig up in this yard?" What's Nicole got to say? Hi, good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Nicole. Feng Shui has a lot to do with Asian buyers also. If the front door and the back door aligns, it means money comes in and goes straight out. So that's a no-no. There are many different superstitions for Asian buyers when it comes to Feng Shui. Very true. It is such a huge topic coming when it comes to Feng Shui. It's not something that I know a whole lot about. I know about the color red, and I think lemons are meant to represent good luck as well. It's quite an in-depth topic when it comes to Feng Shui.
I think in summary on today's show, when it comes to Feng Shui, I think a buyer should be educated on it for considering when they resell the property. And I don't think it's a huge impact on price, but in a very small way, I know it matters as a real estate agent because I hear people talking about it on a regular basis. Northern beaches of Sydney, not as much, but certainly parts of Sydney, like, your Chatswoods and places like that, I think there'd be a huge influence on that Feng Shui market. So, yeah, I think it's still a consideration for everyone.
Oh, for sure. And like you kind of touched on before, it's not so much inhibiting your price, but it's just opening the door to further buyers and creating that little bit more interest, like with the number of your home or things like that. So if there is something that you can do that doesn't cost too much money and it is more Feng Shui, that does have the ability to attract more buyers in.
Lisa reckons we should get a Feng Shui expert on.
I think so too. That would be such a cool topic.
I thought that's what you are.
No, I'm the superstition topic for today. But
Let's
feng
do
shui,
it.
like I said before, it's not something that I know a huge deal about, but it is quite interesting, and it can certainly pave the way for more buyers coming into your home.
Have a lovely day.
Have a lovely
Feng
day.
shui.
Namaste.
Thanks, Dan. That's cool, Zen. Thank you so much for that. And guys, hopefully it helped you today out on that sort of stuff on superstition. And if it matters or if it doesn't, certainly from what we see on the street in real estate. Thanks, Eve. See ya.
See you.
Boy.